and welcome to my first painting video. Look at that little carnivorous plant go. Isn't he a beaut? Yes. Hopefully in this video I'm gonna show you a little thing or two. I definitely learned some things and I want to share them with you. So this video is going to be about this model specifically, King Sprout, a part of the base set, the Super Dungeon Explorer, the Forgotten King. I really like this game a lot, and I love painting the miniatures for some reason. I don't know what it is, just love them. These are the turnip heads. These are the smaller elite and the warbands. These are the wisp. They are devious little hex mages that will make you feel bad. They will make you feel bad for something you didn't even do. Alright, but yeah, they're very nice and blue. I will say that, nice and blue. These are the mooks. They are the little leaf guys. I went really heavy with their contrast. It was very dark and kind of muddy. Sort of turned out bad, but I like their shields, so yeah. Yes, but this video is about King Sprout. So I primed the model with my airbrush. I have an airbrush. I do not show it in this video though. Primed it with a 1:1 ratio, white and black. Just a simple little gray, not too dark, not too light, you know. Gives a nice little layer for the first, or a tooth for the first layer to grab onto. Otherwise the plastic would be a kind of slippery surface for the paint. Quick shout out, Army Painter, Quick Shade, washes set. I use 4 or 5 of these washes in this video. Amazing washes. Also Games Workshop and P3 Formula paints, awesome paints. Here's my brushes. One simple one I got from a department store. This one a little bit nicer. You don't have to get nice brushes though. Some ones from the department store work fine, especially for a dry brush like this. Dry brushes are haggard brushes that you just scrub over everything and scrub and dry out on paper with the paint on them to get it to a certain moisture level, which is basically no moisture at all for a dry brush technique. So here we go. The first layer of Cyberite green, Citadel paints. And this is going on all the leaves, the main vine trunk of our beautiful carnivorous plant here. First layer is very broad. Don't have to be specific. All of the borders don't have to really match up. You can kind of be messy. A drunk blind monkey on mushrooms could probably do the job just fine, if you know what I'm saying. So first layer for the head and the mouth, sanguine highlight, P3, awesome paints. Going on, Army Painter, pure red. I use that to highlight the top of the mouth as we go on. You'll see me do that. A note between the P3 and the Army Painter. Army Painter is a lot better for glazes, in my opinion. If you're going to water them down and actually make a glaze out of them, they have a more gelatin-like texture. That's where the P3 are a little bit more grainy. But when I say grainy, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's just they're actually very high-quality paints, but there's just a difference to note between the two. So here's our first layer, sanguine highlight. With layers, you just want to put them on and just kind of keep moving. You don't want to worry about covering and making it a pure color at first. You're going to do that as the layers go. And this isn't even really a layer that you're going to necessarily see most of. There's going to be so much on top of this that, you know, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about coverage right now. Just get the paint on there. And as you can see, it's not all the way dark. There's some on the teeth. That's fine. Alright, so necrotic flesh, alien purple. Those are hitting the palette. And the tongue is now getting some purple on it. He's got that purple tongue, boy. Alright, so one thing I do with the tongue is I eventually bring out some pink in it. First wash of the day Military shade. This is, I believe, the brighter green of the wash set. And this I'm just doing to bring out all of those nooks and crannies, all of those little divots and pockets and shadow areas. The washes can be used to create natural shadows that would be caused by certain parts of the model draping over itself, like the back of his stem, which is going to be shown as we progress. And also we're going to capitalize off of some of the natural dry brushing that occurs, and you're going to see what I mean later. It's truly amazing. So more washing, just pulling it up as much as you can. Just slabbering it on there. Really, if you could dip the entire model, that's what they recommend for smaller things, is to actually dip them. And that's actually an important note about these washes. They work better on smaller models, because if it's a bigger model, you might as well just paint it in there, you know what I'm saying? It's really hard to be that precise that many times. But we do a little bit of that later on. See here, just washing everything, giving everything a nice slather. This style of painting is really about just technique and more about letting the paint do the work. It's very deceiving when the model is finished. People think you're this amazing artist, but really you just follow a couple, set of rules and it works out fine. So boom, teeth going on, bone white. I love this color. It's a great off-white. Often you don't use pure white with stuff like this, but in this case, yes. I am going to go back and hit a pure white as the very tiny dot detail on the teeth at the very end. Not in this video, but once the model is finished. I actually didn't get to finish the model in this video, but it's more or less finished. So here I'm going back and I'm starting to apply some more red on the mouth, and here, boom, 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 hitting those teeth up. Everything I do on the big head, I do on the two smaller heads too, so just keep that in mind as we go on. So here's the Army Painter Pure Red, and as you can see, it's very red. Very, very beautiful red going on the top there. So you'll notice as the model progresses, I use the top of the head as obvious the highlight point, which is where the light would naturally hit it, so I really focus in on the colors here. And you bring up the contrast colors very bright, and then the washes tone it back down and sort of blend it all into one cohesive thing. So here's strong tone wash, boom, hitting those teeth up. One important note about the wash, they pull up in the little divots like I was saying, and in this specific point you can see them in the teeth. Watch the teeth, the wash specifically will pull up into the gums and create sort of a gum like border, and it's very beautiful and just easy and amazing that these paints do this like this. They really are designed pretty much for the specific purpose. I've used them a couple times on canvas with some like painting and stuff, but yeah, this is where they shine. So you can see adding some nice. They also give the teeth a tone. You're also shading it slightly. So it's a multi set of awesomeness. Here you can just see him hitting those teeth really quickly, just boom, boom. So here's a heavier wash on the other side. I kind of really give it to this side. This is a really nice shot too. You get to see it pull up into the gums. And this is what I was meaning about it being kind of deceiving. Like when you see the end result of this, you think, wow, they have such a nice little fade on them and everything. And really it's just controlling the wet paint. So right here you can really see it. Boom. Just pure instant gradient. Pure instant just awesomeness. I'm saying pure so much. It's pure. It's pure, yo. Alright, so necrotic flesh. So now we're starting to hit all the tips and the tops of all the leaves. And that's really about what it's about as you go and continue on. You want to start from that middle ground baseline color and bring all of your colors up. And specifically right now, I'm bringing up the leaves. And remember, we've washed the leaves once and got it all into the nooks and crannies, and this isn't supposed to really go there. It's just kind of supposed to be on the top. So Baylor brown, I just decided, boom, this root system needs to be brown. Roots are brown, right? And I realized that these are roots, and that is the first layer for the roots. Had so much fun painting this model and doing this. I really had to do twists and turns to get these good shots. Sometimes I'm pretty happy with how it came out. So right now you can see the colors are very like just not blended together. There's no harmony between the colors. They're just bold, plain, straight colors. And I mean, you could almost look at it and be like, oh, got the grub on, got the grub, got to get some grub. All right. So you can almost look at it now and say, wow, that looks great, you know? Yeah, you could stop here, I guess. Like, it looks all right, but you're going to see we're really going to make this thing just wonderful. So boom, boom, look at that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That last one had a couple more, but very quick, monotonous kind of, you know, just repetitive work. You have to do lots of layers, but that's what makes it, gives you the control. So have patience, and you know you'll be doing very awesome color schemes. So right now I'm making a pink. I don't have a liquid pink, so I'm mixing my bone white with my pure red and a little bit of yellow, demonic yellow from Army Painter. And I'm making a pink. I've realized that this carnivorous plant has some buds starting to poke in and out from the back to around to the right side of them. So I make this pink, and this is now going to start being my first layer for all my buds. And as you can see, we're starting to show the tips of the buds. So here I decided to wash the brown now. The brown is dried. That's another important, I would say, tactic or workflow in doing this. While something is drying, paint something else. And I learned that. Give a shout out to Next Level Painting. Check him out on YouTube. Awesome channel. But yeah, that's a great technique to implement, save time. Here we're taking that pink that I just made and starting to hit those spikes. Now I decided that's a perfect color for those spikes, you know. Back to the teeth, washing, boom, boom, heavy wash, hitting those gums up. Now I'm getting in all those nooks and crannies. Now look at that. Isn't that starting to really just pop now? Starting to see those teeth. All right, so Google search carnivorous plants. Get some inspiration, right? Jumanji. The carnivorous plant that popped out in the living room had a yellow mouth. So now this model has a yellow mouth. So now I'm pulling out that necrotic flesh. Always wash your brushes. And I'm going back over those tips and tops. And I threw some also red lines on the leaves to add some nice little interesting color. Now I mixed this with some, I think a little bit of yellow, and just started hitting the tops of those leaves. Now look at that, isn't that great? Wash time. So now here you start to see where the wash really brings everything together, and the beauty of the wash and why it's almost a safety net. It will pull you back into a tone and keep your crazy colors from popping out too much. Looking good. All right, so this is a glaze, I believe. Yeah, now we're going to start to glaze. Glazing is like a wash, but it's for highlights. So I've decided that this bloodletter glaze from Games Workshop is going to be my choice of glaze for the highlights. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Highlights for the top of the mouth is the bloodletter glaze. This I did a little experiment. I took some dry brush paint and some paint thinner and tried to make a glaze, a pink glaze for the tongue. I'm also using that pink glaze here for the tops of the buds, giving those buds some nice pinkness. Always love them pink buds. So yeah, glaze time with a little bit of the pink. And mind you, glazes are very thin, so one time you barely see it. This is just to give some excitement, you know, just a little bit of pop and pizzazz. And that's the beauty of them too, is they're so thin. So glaze number 2, Way Watcher Green from Citadel Paints. This you're gonna see start to really bring out that, what I would say, like that chlorophyll green, that just beautiful bright green, and really start to hit that contrast with that red, right? And not only are we contrasting with red and green, we're contrasting with green itself from going from dark to light. So lots of contrast. Small model has to be heavy contrast to be eye-catching. And we want it to just seize your eyes, right? We just want you to just keep looking at it and going, bouncing back from all the beautiful things. So this model has about 7 to 8 glazes between the Way Watcher Green, which you can see I'm doing right here now in multiple places, and the Bloodletter glaze on the mouths. Here I'm doing the Way Watcher broadly at first. Broadly, you start out everywhere with glazes, kind of like a wash, bring it all together, and then you start to focus in on your highlight points. And you're going to start to see those really bright green highlight points pop out the more this model gets glazed. And that's what you want. Another quick little pink additive to the tongue, painting the purple. Here we go, infinitely spiraling. Yes, yes. All right, so as you can see, here we are, and you might be saying, "Wow, that's a beautiful model, Aaron." And I'm gonna say, yes, it is, but we can make it even sweeter. We can make it even more stunning. So now I'm going to start capitalizing on my dry brush strokes and my washes. So you're going to see here now heavy wash, just slobber it on there everywhere, get it all in those little nooks and crannies, and show me those shade points. Oh, bottoms of the buds, got to get those bottom of the buds, bringing everything together, right? Bringing those multiple colors together. All those lovely greens, so many greens on this. So yeah, soon, like I'm saying, we're going to start capitalizing on our dry brush strokes. Alright, so now we're washing the top of the mouth. Red tone from Army Painter. Quick shade wash set. You can see here. Don't want to get on the teeth. Got to watch out for those teeth, you know. Now I'm starting to really respect the borders that I am building with these washes. And the farther the model gets into the process, the more borders that you respect to eventually, obviously, oh, see I hit some red there? Yeah, I'll have to come back later and fix that. Painted the teeth probably a little bit more than I'd wanted to. Alright, so those buds, now the buds are getting the wash now. Red tone, Army Painter, look at that. Look at that, just boom, instant beautiful. Instant beautiful. Amazing, gorgeous. I mean, just captures your eye and just looks captivating almost. That's what I'm going for. I want to captivate your eyes. Alright, so now I believe we're getting into some dry brushing. Alright, so dry brushing is like uncovering the awesomeness. You're like an archaeologist, you know, digging out there in the dirt, and you're scrubbing and you're just watching all of that beautiful little line texture pop out of every little corner, or not a corner, sorry. I'm thinking washes now. All the little tips and the tops and the mountains, not the valleys, but now we're talking about mountains, right? Now all those little mountains, you want those to really just pop out. And this is the part I'm telling you that you capitalize off of. So you just naturally go across, go every which way to get all those nice little tops, tippy tops. And it's going to show you all of your lines that you are later going to go back over with another green and to even further bring them out. This right here is really, so this is where I'm starting to really enjoy the model personally at this stage. Dry brushing to me is always the point to where you really start to just get an eye for it, and you know, just wow, look at that just color, and it's just all in there, and oh, love it, gotta love it. All right, so dry brushing, dry brush, scrub, 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 scrub. Your little, yes, uncover that dirt. Uncover. Scrub, scrub, scrub. All right, so challenging pink, Citadel paints. Challenging pink on top of the red. Obviously, dry brushing most of the time, you're going to use brighter colors. So the valleys, dark colors, the mountains, bright colors. Everything else in between. Oh yeah, look at all those beautiful little lines and textures of the mouth that was put onto this model. And that's what I was saying we're going to capitalize off of. We're going to let the model tell us how to paint itself. Oh, dirty mouth, clean that mouth. Wash that mouth out. What you been talking about, Willis? What you been talking about? Wash that mouth out. As you can see, find the valleys. Beautiful. Oh, kitty time. Kitty wanted to distract me. Yes, he did. Kitty wanted to distract me. Oh, kitty. Alright, kitty, you gotta go. Okay. So, dry brushing. More dry brushing. Lots and lots of dry brushing everywhere. All the beautiful tips. Wet coat, wet layer of pink. Starting to really make that tongue have some contrast. Like I said, it's all about contrast with these small models. All you're doing, making the mountains brighter, making the valleys darker, and bringing in all that beautiful color. Back to the Waywatcher Green glaze. Glaze those buds. Glaze all those buds. You glaze one bud, you gotta glaze all the buds. You know what I'm saying? Bloodletter glaze. Back to the top. Back to the top. So from here on out, it's basically just a set of just glaze and glaze and glaze until you really start to find a point where you like. And as you can see where I'm finding those highlights now, I'm starting to focus in that glaze. Like I said, broad glaze first into your focus point, which is going to be your highlight. Glaze those buds. More glaze on the buds. Bringing out that red, that beautiful, beautiful red inside of all that green, and the bright green and the dark green. Oh, it's just it looks very nice, guys. I'm very pleased with this model. I hope you're getting this perspective now of the repetition it takes to bring out all of this, and it's not much skill. It's just this right here is the most, I would say, the most skilled part. So you've got all your dry brushing right, and now you go back over with the brighter color with the wet layer, and you find all of those little lines that your dry brushing has brought out, and you go even on a smaller scale of highlighting, a little bit less than your dry brush, so it creates a nice fade into this very bright highlight that you're putting on now. And as you can see, I'm really just saying, here are the lines that are on this vine, that are on the trunk, that are on the leaf. The edges always look nicer with lines. I don't know what that's about. I'm sure someone in the comments could say why specifically. All I know is that it's better because that's bright and the other side is dark, you know? It's really about gradients at the end of the day. Like, I think it is kind of easy and just to say, oh, slap a gradient on anything or a fade on anything and it looks nice. It does. And you can kind of get carried away with that, but still at the end of the day, if you want to be an artist, learn your gradients. Learn how to fade, even just black. Just black, you know, the little color shade things that they show you. Just learn how to do that. It helps a lot. Back to glazing. About 10 glazes between the green and the red on this model so far. Hitting those teeth, bam, bam, bam. Coming back out over those washes I've done. So here I'm pushing the tongue out of the way to wash the mouth, to give some nice down color to the mouth, or orange color. So there are just yellow dots on the vines, nice little texture. Here is where I'm capitalizing on the dry brush dots on the mouth. Hitting them with just the nice little bone white. Really brings out those little dots, right? Makes it interesting. Makes you want to look at it and say, ooh, what is that, you know? Back to washing. Boom, boom, boom. Wash it up, boy. This is now a heavier blend of the red. I think it's just pure red tone, or pure red from Army Painter. Back on the mouth. Going up on those established dry brush lines. Here I messed up and had to quickly recover with a wet brush. Yeah, I messed up bad. That is a happy mistake we cannot keep, unfortunately. Yeah, wet brush, disperse the paint everywhere, and you're good to go. So here I'm doing some yellow as the final, the tip of the iceberg, as you would say. Some yellow on the leaves, and boy, is that beautiful. More dry brushing. Dry brushing the root system with the Baylor Brown, which is the original coat, funny enough. More yellow on the tips of the leaves. Look at that. Look at that. That yellow just tops it off. It's the cherry on the sundae, my friend. And boy, feast your eyes on it. Sorry, I'm getting too into my own model. Okay. Well, I hope this showed you something about how easy this can be. Here's all the paints that I used. Quite a few. And boy, this was fun. I'm glad I could share this with you guys. I hope you learned a little bit of something. I hope this inspires you. I hope this, I never saw myself doing this a year ago, but here I am. And wow. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you have a good day.